Welcome to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. This is not your typical financial radio show. As a licensed CPA, insurance agent, and investment advisory representative, Chris coaches his clients on a holistic view of financial well-being with an objective of providing a complete financial strategy to fund life's goals. Chris is here to guide you down the path to the financial serenity you deserve. Now, here's Chris Cooper.
All right, folks, good morning. We are going to spend some time talking about our favorite furry friends today. And so in studio with me, we have got from the O'Fallon Animal Clinic, Laura and Kate. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Awesome.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. So you guys are my dog Max's personal vets. So thank you guys for taking such good care of him. And I know, Laura, you came, I called you because I had a panic moment because I thought he'd broken his ACL.
You did?
And it turns out he didn't. So that saved me a lot of money. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So he is going to be an office dog. And so what kinds of things do I need to pay attention to help make sure he is the best office dog for us?
Well, you just want him well socialized. You
Okay.
probably have a lot of people in and out of here.
Yeah.
So making sure that he is just go with the flow.
Yep.
That he has a good recall. We don't need him in the parking lot.
Okay. So
Get
good
in the right
recall.
class.
That's like, come,
Yes.
get
Yes.
over here.
Come right back.
Yeah.
Make sure he
Okay.
comes back to you and listen.
Okay. He's getting better at that. I mean, he's 6 months old. So he's a boxer.
Yes.
So they're kind of stubborn.
Short attention span.
Yeah. Good with food once they realize that food's good,
Yes.
right? So now other breeds have this kind of same problem, right?
Lots of them.
Yeah. Every breed's a little bit different.
Yes. Myself included. Many of them are food motivated.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Now, Kate, are you food motivated yourself?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So this is not just a dog thing.
No.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So guys, how long have you guys known each other?
Well, we actually went to vet school together, but
Okay.
in different circles.
Yeah.
But we've worked together for over 12 years
Very
across
cool.
3 clinics.
All right. So 3 clinics. And now you guys have decided to branch out and do your own thing out here in O'Fallon.
Absolutely.
So that is awesome. So what brought that on? Just time to get out and do something different?
We figured if we were going to work that hard,
Yeah.
we were going to work that hard for ourselves.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what made you decide to be partners together?
We practice very similar medicine.
Okay.
We trust each other.
That's
we work
helpful.
very well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked about it many, many times before it actually happened.
Uh-huh.
And we have 7 kids between the 2 of us. So
Okay.
the question really was not if, but when.
Uh-huh.
When is the right time to do that? I don't know there's a right answer.
Well, I talk to a lot of business owners. We all make that transition. And at some point in time, you look back and go, gosh, I should have done this sooner.
Sure.
But you still have that deer caught in that headlight kind of moment
Oh,
where it's like,
absolutely.
oh, I can't make that leap.
Yeah.
You know?
You just got to jump off the cliff.
We dipped
It's
our
hard.
toes in several times.
Yeah.
Talked to different consultants and looked into going with corporate or without
Yeah.
corporate. And I think when we finally got our clinic going, it was our 3rd attempt,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, isn't that
We
weird?
jumped
Like,
right in.
and you mentioned that whole just kind of dip your toe in.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just dip your toe in.
Nope, you don't, because it doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't, it's because you still have that crutch.
Yep.
Yes.
Right. And you really have to be, in order to be really successful, you have to be like, no, this is excited.
This is it.
I'm excited. And you know what? The people I help should be excited too.
Sure.
And that can't happen if you're not even in it full yourself.
No. Well, the time that it finally worked, we actually met. I met with her at our parking lot at this lease space, and I said, "Okay, this is it. Like, if you say go, I'm going to run with this as fast as I can."
I
And
said,
she said,
do
"Go."
it. I
Nice.
said, go.
Yeah. I love
Like,
it.
we're not backing off again. We're not hitting the brakes.
And
Yeah.
leave before I change my mind.
It's scary.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, it's so
You know?
scary.
We were talking a little bit offline, and part of that fear is you've got families, 6 kids between the 2 of you.
7.
7. And I got 2 myself, so we got 9 kids here to think about, and we're all business owners.
Yep.
When you're a business owner, you got to think about the kids first, because
100%.
you are a mom above all, right?
Yep.
And that has its own set of priorities. But you got to make sure food's on the table. You got to
Yep.
make sure things are taken care of. You want to do things that make a difference for people, of course, and be happy. But at the end of the day, that paycheck's got to come in, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it's scary when you don't know how it's going to.
I always used to joke, I don't want to live under a bridge.
Yeah.
I will do it, but I cannot live under a bridge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and so now, and it takes a little bit of time to start something up too. And
Yeah,
that's always a little bit of a fear, right? But you guys have a beautiful place.
Thank you.
So what do you think makes your place so special?
Oh, I think we're really family oriented.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
it's a smaller place. We have a small staff.
Mhm.
And that means we probably know entirely too much about you and your animals. You probably know entirely too much about us.
Yeah.
But I think that's important. It really, you walk in the door and we want to know who you are,
Sure.
and you could tell me about whatever you need, whatever your stresses are.
I
And
love
I
that.
think, having the smaller space really helps for that, at least to start.
Well, it makes that conversation because you don't see each other or see people on their best, day all the time.
Oh,
Sometimes it's pretty emotional,
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So that's not always, because we grow close to our pets,
They're family.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, they don't have the same lifespans as us. And so we go through those cycles. And unfortunately, you guys get to see all that. And that's tough.
That's our privilege, though.
Yeah.
We get to help make those decisions. I think we get to see the good, the bad, the ugly, and we get to grow. We get to see them from puppyhood all the way through adulthood.
Yeah.
And then we get to work with you through the tough times, but we know what you want for your pet.
Yeah.
So we get to be there for you.
So what made you guys decide to get into veterinary medicine?
Oh man, I was one of those people who knew what I wanted to be when I was 5 years old.
Really?
Yeah, people would ask, and I was like, I don't know, Mom. How do you say it again? Veterinarian?
Wow.
Yeah. So
It's
there was
funny
nothing else I
because
wanted to be.
when I was 5, that's what they said about me. Oh, you should be a financial advisor.
I know.
Yeah.
They said, that's great.
I was a telemarketer for one summer, I
Yeah.
think, in high school, and other than that, every job I've ever had started out as a kennel assistant to a tech to an assistant to. vet
And
school.
it just kept reaffirming kind of that thought process.
Yeah, my senior year in high school, I paused a little bit because that's like a lot of school in college, and I just didn't know if I wanted to go for 8 more years. But after going through basically the course catalog and looking at everything, there's nothing else that if I'm going to go to school, I'm going to go to school for.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
I was pre-med. I was going to do humans all the way. I wanted to be a doctor of some sort. And then after my first year in undergrad, people suck.
Yeah.
I didn't like pre-med students were mean.
Yeah.
They didn't want to study with you. And I remember making a phone call and I was like, I don't want to do this. You love animals. I said, I know, but I don't have the heart to do the hard thing.
Yeah.
Just shadow for a summer and see how it goes. So I did. I spent that summer shadowing and I said, that's it. I'm switching. No more pre-med. I'm going pre-vet.
Now, I assume the hardest thing is having to tell people that it's time to put your pet
Nope,
down.
It's not.
What is the hardest thing?
Saying that we can do this procedure, it's life-saving, and the money isn't there.
Well, then that's tough, and I'm a
Yeah.
financial guy, and I will say, and I'm going to say this in a little bit of a shame position, knowing who you guys are. But at some point in time, it's tough because, I spend a lot of money for my pets, but at the same point, and I want them taken care of. They're my family.
Sure.
They really are. But I'm going, holy cow, insurance is incredibly expensive on animals, on pets.
It's getting
and
more affordable.
It is getting a little bit better. It is. And I understand why they do what they do, too. It's not like it's subsidized or anything like that.
Sure.
There's not enough volume to make up for it, right? Quite frankly. So I could geek out on insurance all day. We're not going to go there. That's not interesting. So
Well, and I'll say even in those situations, I feel like it also brings the team together. We're always trying
Yeah.
to troubleshoot to be like, okay, well, let's call this rescue. Let's call this rescue. Maybe it's even harder when we do our best and the client thinks that we don't have their
right.
pet's best interest at heart, and they come after us because that happens a lot.
Well, my struggle is more so on things like, if God forbid my dog Max needs an ACL or something, I'm going, this guy's an idiot. I know what he does all the time. I know how he ruined it. How am I going to stop him from doing it again?
Okay.
And that's the hard part, right? And then my math brain starts kicking in, and that's just the hardest part, right? But we want to make sure that they're all taken care of, and that's harder than watching somebody not make that corrective decision than it is to actually put the animal down.
It is, and it may be controversial, but I think sometimes we're nicer to our animals than we are to humans.
100%.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more on that
to
one.
we get to help make sure that they're not suffering. We get to advocate
Yeah.
for them. We get to not wait for their worst day
Yeah.
to make that decision. So I think Kate's right. In a lot of those situations, we're there to support, and there's that emotional tug that comes with that. But the medical standpoint, a lot of times that is.
Yeah.
But she's not wrong. There's a lot of times where you pour your heart and soul into a case, you sleep, you lose sleep over it. You think about it, and then you'll see them say something on Facebook that we don't care or that we're only in it for the money.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
just
probably
like,
the hardest.
Oh, that's not.
it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you just got to stay off the
We
social
see our
media.
friends get thrown under the bus, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's really hard.
Yeah.
Well, it's a small niche community,
Yeah.
isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
It's a very small community. Everybody knows everybody. It takes
Yeah.
one message to somebody to be able to reach out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, and I always thought that the hardest day, like, do you guys put like animals down every day? Like, I think that would just tear me up inside.
I don't think it's every day. There are some days where you'll have 3 or 4, and
Oh,
then a
geez.
week where there's nothing. Or
See, this is why I couldn't do this. Humans or animals, like, I can't handle this. I need numbers.
I 100% agree that we are kinder to our animals than we are to people.
Yeah.
We are. And
Yeah.
that's, I have a lot of conversations, very serious, because a lot of things are financials end up getting very serious, right? I tell people, everyone talks about reducing their ability to their tax liability, right? No one likes to pay more in taxes.
Sure.
So great conversation I have with people all day long. We are willing to have conversations about what happens when we pass away. It's human nature. We know we're going to pass away. It's inevitable. And we want to make sure that our kids get money or a charity gets money, but not the government and not somebody else. The hardest part of our conversations with people is incapacitation, long-term care decisions,
Yes.
Alzheimer's, dementia. We don't want to plan for it. We don't want to talk about it. It's not going to happen to us. We ignore the statistics. And we just try to say, well, that's not a big deal. But statistically speaking, it happens. It
Sure.
happens more often. And we have to have these complicated conversations, because if you don't plan for it, guess what? Somebody's making the plan for you, and it's not you, it's the government or somebody else, and that's not good.
Yeah, and we talk about, especially in our puppy visits, we try to like touch on insurance.
You do.
mentioned it's not you pay a lot more when they're younger before you use it, but we both come from an ER background and we'll work shifts, and it's nothing to be at a $5,000 bill in the blink of an eye.
Right.
Yep.
So
And that's what happens if you don't have insurance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and I tell people if that's a hardship where you don't get reimbursed, insurance is something to look at.
Yeah.
But if you can set that money aside, and it's not fun to be out $5,000, but it is doable, then maybe insurance isn't your thing. But there's
Right.
a lot of them now that reimburse for quite a bit. And if you can do the premiums, $20-$30 a month when they're puppies before they have pre-existing conditions,
Sure.
those are my clients that I'll say, I need this and this. And I said, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do whatever you need, because
Yeah.
I have that backup.
It makes sense.
Mhm.
It does make sense. And I think that's where the conversations about the medical side of it, we are nicer with when we think about our animals, because we do have that conversation about, hey, if our animal doesn't have control and a good quality of life,
Mhm.
we do that euthanization
We are
step.
always talking about quality of life.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's quality over quantity.
Yeah. And pets just don't have longer lives anyway, which is crazy.
I know.
I'm learning all this stuff. It's so sad, because you guys know this. I'm a boxer, we're boxer family.
Yeah.
And, they're like 10 years,
Yeah.
ish, 10 to 12 ish, maybe.
I'll give you 12.
Maybe
Yeah.
12. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But I love my boxers, right? But the mutts, if you will, kind of tend to have a little bit longer lifespan, which is
Yeah,
crazy
sometimes.
to me.
What'd you say? Hybrid,
Hybrid
vigor?
vigor. Yeah.
Hybrid. There you go. The hybrids.
Hybrid
yeah.
vigor.
Yeah. It's
get the
crazy.
best of both worlds.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm always I like my breeder too. I think that's
Sure.
we have a great relationship, and that's part of it too, I guess. But they're such meatheads though. Boxers. My silly boxer. He's so funny. So all right. So we need to make sure he has a good come back and listen to
You
us.
do.
Kind of
You need
thing.
a good recall,
All right.
and you need him well socialized. So
All
that
right.
no matter who walks in your building,
Yep.
that he is not, you don't have to worry about him biting someone.
Yes. Well, and he doesn't do that, but he does have the puppy thing where he gets excited.
And he pees.
And he does. And I shouldn't be telling people that, hey, come in and see us. And my dog only's here if you're pet lovers, it's okay. But yeah, he'll grow out of that, right?
We hope so. Most of them do.
Oh,
There is a small
jeez.
there's a small percentage that
encouraged
don't.
over
It's not
here.
guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. The good majority of them
All
will
right.
grow out.
All right. Can I just yell at him? Is that not going to help, is it?
No.
It's not going to help.
They
I'm
have such a
kidding.
short memory. People say, "Oh, rub their nose in it." They don't remember.
No? All right.
No.
That's why they always say, you have to positive reinforcement,
Yeah.
right?
I'm a big positive reinforcement fan. I
All
think a lot of dogs respond, and food.
Yeah.
All food motivated.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's hard because he also like sticks and like mulch. So could I just give him mulch?
Please
You
don't.
know, No, I was going to say
Then
it's
you can
probably not
save
good.
money for his foreign body surgery. You
Oh,
bring him
good.
into me, I'll get the mulch out.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Well, let's give him food instead.
Let's do it.
Yeah. He likes to eat the mulch and stuff, though, and
He is
rocks.
not the only one. Yes.
Ugh.
I had a dog who I took to surgery 3 times. We pulled out rocks before we realized the owners were pouring their bacon grease on the rocks.
Oh, there it is.
Yep. And he was eating that.
Mm-hmm.
So $2,000 surgery
Okay.
because the bacon grease went on the rocks.
Okay.
We joked we were going to install a zipper.
Nice. Well, Max also likes to lick the bird stuff. And that drives
Oh.
me nuts too.
Dogs are gross sometimes.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know.
People come in all the time. My dog eats its own poop. What's wrong? Is it a nutritional deficiency?
No.
Dogs
No.
are just gross.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
all right. They don't think it's gross though.
They don't.
All right.
Poopsicles are a delicacy in the winter.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm not going to find out. I'll be honest. So I couldn't do what you guys do. This is why I talk numbers. And you know, I would pass out. Nope. Couldn't do it. We were talking offline about my dog who's going to eventually have to get neutered.
Yes.
And you're like, hey, Stacy, you can come in and watch.
Open invite to both of you.
Yeah. No, thank you. You can rescind mine right now. I'm okay. Yeah. I'm sure they'll be gone and taken care of. And that's fine. I don't want to see them either.
No.
So, no.
You just wanted them to be gone.
Well, I think they have to be gone, right? You're supposed to, like,
There are a lot of benefits
okay.
to these guys. Intact males can actually smell a female in heat 3 miles away. So it increases their risk
Nice.
of running away, aggression. They can get prostatic enlargement as they get older, just
Which
like
means
humans.
he's not going to
And
listen to
prostate
me as much
cancer.
either.
Correct.
So, all right.
Correct.
My own dog, we got him as a rescue, so we neutered him at 4, and
Uh-huh.
he still died of prostate cancer.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't go too early either, right?
Correct.
Because you want him to be basically mature, if you will.
There are some newer studies out that if you delay spaying and neutering in certain breeds, certain
Mhm.
size dogs, that you can reap the benefits of some of those hormone surges.
Okay.
So that's a certain conversation to have with your specific veterinarian on if your dog would benefit from a delayed spay or neuter.
Okay. And it's probably different with every breed.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is.
Does that keep you guys pretty entertained too? Because every breed is a little bit different.
Keeps us on our toes. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm
That's
sure.
for sure. And they all come with their own niche needs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well
Now,
said.
a lot of time, you guys are obviously dogs, cats too, though.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All animals.
We don't. We used to see. She saw reptiles.
Yeah.
Dr. Calloway did, and I saw the furry little pocket pets and birds. But I am highly allergic to rabbits and guinea pigs and hamsters.
Oh,
and
man, she would muster through, though.
I did. So I started to see them at the end of the day, so that if when my eyes swelled shut, I would be going home. And then I just decided it wasn't worth it.
Yeah. That's
So
fair.
as much as I love the little furries and we love the reptiles, there are plenty of good specialists in the area
Yeah.
and veterinarians who have the time and aren't itching like crazy for 24 hours after.
That seems like a reasonable ask. And when you have your own practice, you can kind of figure out who,
That's true.
who
It's
you
one of the
serve.
benefits.
That's correct.
So, you know, so all right. So you guys have your own practice now, August
Yes.
of 24,
Yes.
right? So what are some of the big surprises you had when you're like, hey, I'm going to open up this place. I'm going to see my new clients, and it's just, I'm going to help animals all day long. It's going to be great, right? That happens
Yeah.
just immediately, right?
We were really shocked about the community support.
Yeah.
So much support.
We were at a point where you're opening. You're like, I hope somebody's going to come.
I hope the phone rings.
I hope the phone rings.
The first time the phone rang, we didn't even realize our phone was connected yet. It rang like 4 times, and then finally,
Like, oh, we got a phone call.
She grabbed the phone. I had to snap a picture of her. We're like,
Nice.
we got a phone
I
call.
feel like it's that Ghostbusters moment when they're like, I got one.
Yeah, it was our first phone call. Documented.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So we were very lucky that people did a lot of research and found us. And so the community support has been above and beyond.
Yeah.
The city of O'Fallon has been great and super supportive. The canine officers of O'Fallon have come through. And so I think we were both taken aback by how rapidly things grew over the first year.
Well, I saw some of the Facebook posts about helping some of the canine officers that are out there, and that's amazing to me. I love that stuff. First responders, soldiers, all that. That's just a special piece of my heart. So awesome, and kudos to you guys for being able to help that community.
Yeah.
Somebody has to. I can't. I can help them on the financial side of it, but you know.
We also put on some educational seminars
We
with the
do.
police officers and their dogs on bandaging and
Okay.
wounds, in the field.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was kind of our big surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think just we're learning, right?
Yeah.
You go through vet school and you get all of this training on all of these different species and you pass boards, and there is some business
Is
in there.
Maybe.
Little, a little.
I feel like I've learned it all in the
But
last year.
I think it's there if you knew from the get-go in vet school you wanted to start your own practice.
That's
But
true. They had a club.
They had a club. But if you didn't know that or that wasn't your aspiration coming out, you're kind of left to figure it out on your own. We can doctor,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know that we had any idea what to do as far as starting a business goes.
It's crazy, isn't it? And that's some of those things that you want to help people. You want to help animals.
Yes.
You want to serve the community. And those are all common threads I hear with all the business owners I talk to. But then it's like, well, but I didn't think about marketing. I didn't think about, oh yeah, this place has to get cleaned and all these other little things that have to take place.
All the business licensing, the insurance.
Absolutely. Yeah. We were talking about QuickBooks as well off air. It's like all these little things. All of a sudden you got to look at your numbers and make sure all this makes sense. And how do you get that paycheck? Right. Because that does help. You have to do that.
Credit card fees.
Credit card fees.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because now, as an owner, that's you.
Yeah.
It affects you.
Well, people came in and they were like, is there a discount for cash? And we're like, I don't know. Is there a discount for
I don't know.
There could
Why
be.
would we? I mean, maybe.
Is that a thing? Should we do that? I don't know.
Well, then you have to have cash. I don't know.
I
don't know if you want to do that. That would be my opinion. But you guys do you. That's a cool thing. You can make that decision.
We get to make it up as we go along.
That's kind of fun, isn't it?
Someday.
We have a place. We help animals. We help our clients.
Man, we laugh a lot.
Oh, we laugh a lot. All
That's
day.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't dread going to work. I love the environment that I'm in.
Well, and you're helping to create that, which is also kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, and we love it that we have clients back in the treatment room all the time. So it's really fun when I bring a client back at a treatment table and she has a client back at the treatment table and then they start talking. They're like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? And then they just start, shooting the breeze about their kids and their soccer game. And, it's like building
I'm
a whole
the only
community.
one that's weird about going back and watching this.
You're not. Plenty of people have no desire to see it, but the option is there.
All right.
Nonetheless.
And we also work with a lot of working dogs, a lot of Belgian Malinois and stuff that actually do better away from their clients because they're not in that working mentality.
Sure.
So if we borrow them to the treatment room, all of a sudden they're so much more relaxed.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay.
I don't know, we tailor it to patients and clients.
That's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah. It is.
It's that experience, right? Serving the people how they need to be served, right?
Sure.
And that gives you the ability to be customized.
Yeah.
Right? Which is nice.
It is.
So, absolutely. All right. So, what is the biggest challenge that you guys started your practice? What's the biggest challenge that you guys faced? Anything of it's probably something goofy, crazy that you would have thought about.
Oh, the post office.
Really? That's a new one. I got to tell you. All right.
That was my biggest hang up.
Yeah?
Yeah. I
So
spent
funny.
every Friday at the post office for 3 months because they wouldn't get us a mailbox at our new location. And so I was getting a lot of paperwork from the lawyers and the bank, and everything was getting returned to sender because they wouldn't get us a mailbox at our location until finally our landlord was like, do you have to have a secured box? Can I just put a damn mailbox in the corner?
Yeah.
And I said, sure. And we still to this day have just a random mailbox.
Jeez. That's so funny.
And it worked.
These little things.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's always these little things. She was all excited about that too. Ooh,
She was.
post
Oh, man.
office.
Well, I was going to say
I was so mad.
protocols because our staff laughs at us because we're
Well, that
going
too.
to have protocols and everyone's going to be here, but there are always situations because it's like, well, this is the rule, and you're like, I know, but this person needs this, and we'll be like, well, I don't know.
We're gonna do surgery check-ins in the room to make it super efficient, and then I was
like, actually, I'm going to have you come back today because I just want to see you in the back today. You come with your animal, and so.
And I've talked to them a million times this week. They're good. They know everything. Like they're good to go.
The staff laughs at us.
Well, I think that's fun though, because it's like you said, you learn as you go, kind of what works, but also that human feel that you don't get that when you are at a larger organization, right?
Sure.
Because those protocols rule everything, and it almost makes everything kind of robotic. That customization is kind of the way I look at it. It's that custom feel.
It's good and bad. I think our staff would prefer us just to pick something and stick with it.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, but tomorrow it'll be that. I promise.
I'm like,
But you can also be like,
it
hey,
this
that's a
way.
good idea.
True.
And you can adopt that.
We do.
Right?
It's nice to be flexible. We have a small staff, and we all feel like family. So we ebb and flow with what is needed for the day.
Well, and that makes a difference. I think that people see that.
Sure.
Too. I mean, how can you not? Right. That's a big deal.
We hope so.
So
I think that's a feel that a lot of people get when they leave.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I always thought that, my biggest thing is I would just be devastated watching somebody have to put their pets down all the time. So it's nice to hear that not every day is like that.
It's not all snuggling puppies and kittens, which I think a lot of people think. Some days
It's actually rarely.
It is. A lot of times we have vaccines all day, but there are days where I don't vaccinate a single thing. Everything is sick. Everything needs that extra step. Everything needs more than that.
Yeah.
So, every day is different. I have a hard time with people who have to go to work and sit behind a desk. I just can't wrap my mind around having 3 monitors and Excel sheets and phone calls and meetings all day. It's just like, sometimes I don't even look at my schedule for the next day.
But you guys
up.
do a lot of community, like, so I talk to a lot my background, my Zen moment is my spreadsheets and my 3 screens. Okay. Like that's my behind the scenes. Like
we need people like you.
Yeah. I met with my client. I talked about what they need and I know what to do. I'm going to show it and I'm going to do my proposal,
That's
my spreadsheets and all that
Put it in
stuff.
the spreadsheet.
So for you guys, is that like surgeries? Is that kind of like your Zen moment?
Absolutely.
Or
Yes, surgery is my happy place.
Okay.
I love it. I would sit in there all day.
Because I figured, because we both have conversations all day long, but it's also nice to have a little bit of, now you're in your zone, and your zone is that's your Excel spreadsheet.
That's an interesting analogy.
Yeah, look at that.
Removing testicles, Excel sheet.
Yeah, well, I'd do one of those things. So
yeah,
but that makes sense, I guess. So, and that's your Zen moment,
it is,
if you will, because
is.
it's now you're in your area. You can kind of control it a little bit, and I can't imagine having control in that environment. But I'd pass out. I told you guys that. So
it's a false sense of control.
Yeah.
It's a controlled chaos, essentially.
Yeah. I can't imagine. So vet school, you learn all of these different things,
sure,
but you don't learn necessarily those business aspects all the time.
I don't know that I didn't go through vet school with the idea that I wanted to own my own practice. And so I wasn't in the business club. I didn't take the business courses. So there was no business knowledge as far as I go.
I knew I always wanted to own, but as soon as I graduated vet school, I was like, no, like I'm not, there's still so much to learn. No, you need a lot of mentorship, I feel like, to be able to own your own practice. So I wasn't ready yet. And then by the time I was like, I would never remembered anything if I had learned it.
Part of that, I think, comes with that experience too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. You've been there, you've seen some things, you know what works for you. And then you can apply those things and say, hey, I'm going to do this for myself the way I want to do that. And
by the time I opened up the practice, I had worked full-time ER.
Yeah.
And then I went full-time wellness at the Humane Society. And then I found a good mixture where you do some daytime ER and wellness. And I did relief all over the St. Louis area. And so I knew what I liked, what I didn't like, what I wanted, what I didn't want. So by the time we built, we laid it all out. We had so many dinners to be like, this is what I won't have in my practice, is what I want to focus on in my practice. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. Like we are so parallel.
Yeah.
Now you're confident
100%.
in the direction you want to go. And I think that's the key from an entrepreneurial experience is you've got to feel good and confident from day one.
Sure.
Of what you want it to be.
Just like when we started out that show, right? We started this conversation off. It's can't get your feet just tipping the toe in. You got to go all in.
100%. Well, it's terrifying, but you have to.
Absolutely. And what we talked about earlier too is I wouldn't have wanted to do this by myself.
Yeah.
You have to, I had to have a 50-50 partner who absolutely had the exact same quality of medicine and the vision. And we have 12 years of working together across different clinics. Like we know that we work fantastic together. We know that we want the same for our clients and our patients. It's literally seamless care.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have wanted to open up a clinic all by myself and working every day and not being able to take a day off.
It's fun to do it with somebody.
Oh, it makes it possible to do a work-life balance.
That's great.
I think a lot of veterinarians from previous generations, you work yourself into the ground, right? You have all of your skin in the game and you work all of the hours. You make all the phone calls. You're seeing the patients during the day, and then at home you're doing the admin stuff.
Right.
And so you don't have time for your kids and everything like that. As people are getting through vet school now, that work-life balance is really important.
It is.
And so in order to have that, when you have small children, I couldn't do it by myself.
No,
I just could not. So it is really, really important. And I think you're going to see this shift, we have a lot of really good emergency clinics in the area. And so when we talked about starting our practice, we're like, are we going to be open weekends? We know we miss some clientele during those weekend hours, but for us, that's family time. It's time with the kids. It's time to do our thing and travel. And that's important too, because that means I'm fresh on Monday morning when I come in and I'm ready to dedicate that time to my patient.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, you got to know what you're wanting to do and what you're trying to get out of your business. And those are great things. And so folks, guys, thank you guys so much for coming in. I'm looking forward to making sure that my dog doesn't have worms anymore. So thank you guys for helping.
This morning.
And all right, we'll see how it turns out. So stay tuned for next week. So thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, some final thoughts as we think about our furry friends. Protecting our loved ones, whether they have 4 legs or 2. We want to make sure we have the right strategies in place to help them, right? We just had our 4th of July weekend extravaganza filled with fireworks and fun. Create some nerves on those little guys, right? We want to make sure we understand what we can do to prevent some of that in the future as well, right? We have to plan and think about our pets and our fun lives as well. Pets are a part of that. We want to make sure they're well protected and taken care of. I love the entrepreneurial spirit that we talked about with Laura and Kate. You got to get feet first. You got to jump right in. You got to be excited for that adventure because it is an adventure. And as an entrepreneur, I can tell you, if you do this without both feet dipped in and really excited and gung-ho and ready to go, you're going to notice it. Your clients are going to notice it. Your community is going to notice it. And it's going to be real hard to be successful. You got to take those years of experience, that passion you bring to the table, and you got to convert that to the experience you're looking to deliver for the community you look to serve. That's what makes a big difference. When I talk to all the business owners that I've been able to help and meet, those are the common themes we see. That passion, that commitment, that drive to be successful, and that ultimately the purpose to deliver good quality care to the community they're a part of. That's a big, big deal. And it can be really fun in the process. We have to make sure we think about things that we don't know about and engage with the right professionals where it makes sense, okay? Let veterinary services be what you want to do, but that doesn't mean you have to understand all the nuts and bolts that go into it, right? We have to wear multiple hats as business owners, but we can ask for assistance with other business owners who are experts in their own right along the way. I take my dog to go see a fallen animal. I do, because I am not an expert. I do not know what I'm doing there, right? Laura and Kate do. We have to rely on professionals to help us make the right decisions for our loved ones and for ourselves. We have to make sure our partnership agreements stay intact. We have to make sure our employees have the right benefits to make sure we retain good quality people to assist our community. And they want to enjoy what they do too. They want to be proud of the community and the company that they represent. That's the beauty of working with a small organization. Being nimble, setting those goals up, building those processes out, and being part of something from the start. It's what we love to do here at Serenity Wealth. It is ingrained in our DNA when we work with individuals, when we work with retirement planning, when we work with business planning. It is ingrained in our DNA. It's what we focus on, and we're happy to have conversations with you about how to make sure you get that serenity you deserve as well.
Serenity Now! This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityWealthNow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.